Alright, we're back. A lot of times, a lot happens in that last 3 seconds. Um, so it had to move the pattern over like that. Okay, so the pattern's warped, and we can unwarp the pattern. So when you're playing it, you're going, okay, let's see. A major third, a minor third, I can do that straight up for a perfect fourth. Now I want to do, wait, where's my note? Where's my major third? And then where's that minor third? Okay, starting from that root again, it has to go straight up, and then over to the minor third to the fifth again, the higher fifth. All right, so we'll unwarp it so we can look at it again. Okay, so you just go backwards with that, and there it is. So this is why I wanted to review this, because it's important to internalize. It's okay to remember that this is what root shape is with a major. This is what root shape is with a minor. You just flat that third, whatever it is. So this flat third is this note over one. And then because you've moved one over in like a little tic-tac-toe game, now this interval just becomes smaller. You see how the root to fifth interval doesn't change between the major and the minor? Just the third is changing position there. So this interval becomes a major third, and this interval becomes a minor third. And in guitar, a minor third is like a bigger looking interval than a major third. You go straight up, you're doing a perfect fourth. If you go up and over, you're doing an augmented fourth, and they have one of those in the Lydian fourth. That sounds like, one of those, I'm the third ambulance on the scene and I'm getting out of here, out of my way. You can do that, There's all kinds, in engineering, there's all kinds of applications of sound and signals. And even as a lifeguard, we had a certain number of whistles meant, like 4 whistles meant a stretcher, So because if you could see the 4 notes in a row, it would be like a stretcher. Well, let's not get too far off the track. So this is why I wanted to review this, because we're going to be looking at, in the little cages, we're going to be looking at parts of these. So at one point, if this is the root, this could be a G cage here, because as you know, the G shape chord has the root right there. So this red note right here, this is my G. Okay, so that would be that root, and all we really get is root 3 and capo or fret nut open 5. We also get the root. We get the root again right there. Okay, the root is also there on the capo. You see the red note. So that much of that arpeggio is there, and let's look at what intervals, not the intervals are between 2 notes. Let's look at what inversions are between 3 notes. Okay, when you talk about inverting a pentatonic scale, you're talking about all 5 positions. Okay, Okay, so that would be 3rd inversion pentatonic. Here's 4th inversion pentatonic. Here's 5th inversion pentatonic. 6th inversion, or root again, pentatonic. So that's too complicated. That's just like, mathematicians just drawing like, and this goes to infinity. But do they really know what infinity is? And is it a concept that we could use? So there's like imaginary numbers. such as the square root of -1, that can just sit there, and then we can use them. You know, what if they cancel out? If you square an imaginary number, okay, the square root of -1, you just put a -1 there. But for the time being, if it's just a -1, it's undefined, you know. So how do we get to that? So we're not going to take it too much to a theoretical level like that, although it's easier for me to do it on the piano. I'm excited about being able to look at the caged shapes as starting on a different note, you know, starting on different notes. So the C caged shape, the C shape that we play here, it starts on the 3rd, which is actually the, you know, if root is there, the first, it's actually the 2nd inversion of caged. Okay, so what's the root one? The root one's the E note. So if we did caged in E, that's this E. It'd be like this. All right, so problem is we can't do that E with the fret nut there, because we've got notes that are sunken notes. So and believe it or not, that's a pentatonic scale. All right, 3. Let's see, in E. All right, I don't have that right now. All right, sorry, a little brain bubble there. You know, it's just the E position starts on the root, so it would be root 2, 3, 5, 6. Okay, and then root again 2, 3, 5, 6, root 2, 3. That's this high G sharp. They agree. So that's interesting. So what I'm saying here is, in whatever key we're in, if it was E, it would have to be from the double dot. All right. The root position looks like this. It kind of looks like you know, a modified Little Dipper or something, but not really, because this one's the Little Dipper one. Okay, the one that has the 2 down here. And the first inversion is the funny looking one. It almost looks like a hatchet lying upside down or something like that. You know, it's something like that. I don't know. My analogies are kind of barbaric, so I'm sorry. And you know, but get used to what these first inversions look like. The first inversion is going to have, it starts on the 3rd, goes to the 5th, and then the 5th's got to go up to octave. Okay, so it's going to have this straight up and down, except if it's on the warp. All right, so if the R is actually goes up into the top 2 strings, then it's going to be warped over. All right, like that. And that's going to be the 2nd inversion. Okay, but it's important to learn these and then put them through the tuning warp. So you'll recognize the cage shapes after a while, but you want to learn those inversions. So if I start on a 3 and that root, and we'll go 3, 5 from string, the middle 2 strings here, 3, 5, and I want to go straight up to the root, but I can't, because it'll sound like this, which isn't bad. That's more of an E minor. We don't want an E minor, we want a first inversion C. Okay, so we're going to do, that's kind of suspenseful sounding. And then we go back to the root to 3 relationship when we get up there. Here it is, the root to 3. I was like, what's this? Alright, that's 3 to 5 again, right? So that would be 3, and you can always, from the top string, do that interval. That's a minor.